Welcome to chapter 2 of our ebook. This is going to be all about safety considerations in resistance exercises. First and foremost, you will get a medical clearance sheet, and it basically asks a bunch of questions on your general health, any past health issues you've had, any medications you might be on, any like oh my gosh, I can't believe I can't remember this word. Any kind of injuries that you've had. Your injury history is going to be extremely important for me to know moving forward, and so into the class, so that I know what we need to be possibly modifying or what we need to be watching for. So that's super important. If for some reason you feel like you need to consult with your physician before you move into this course and begin doing some weight training, please do go and get a physical exam just to make sure that you're safe to move forward into it. Generally, if you're very overweight, if you have been sedentary and not been active for many years or for a long period of time, it's good to get this done, beforehand. Or if you're recovering from an illness or an injury that might preclude, you working out, where exercise might be contraindicated, meaning you're not allowed to do it. It's important for you to get that medical clearance. So it's going to determine whether you're actually healthy enough or fit enough to move into this portion of, your fitness journey. So that's your medical clearance. When you fill out your form, I'm going to need you to be completely honest with me in that form. No one else will see that form other than me and you. And so I need to know all of the things that it asks for, but specifically medications. It's important for me to understand what medications you're on, because some things, for instance, steroids, if you were on a steroid, for instance, for an autoimmune suppression or something like that, steroids can sometimes do strange things to your tendons and ligaments and make them either more brittle or more likely to be injured. So it's just something that I need to be aware of. I would also like to be made aware if you are on any kind of performance enhancing drugs, if you're taking testosterone, whether you're a male or a female. I need to know that, because those things can have an effect on your working out. So please just let me know. Okay, what are you going to wear? We talked about this a little bit in the syllabus video. Clothing, obviously, but safe clothing that is appropriate for working out. So no jeans, no dresses or skirts, unless you're wearing leggings or shorts underneath it, so that it's not so flowy or whatever. It can't have any bits that can be caught in the machines, or that you're going to be tripping over while you're working out. So please remember that. Appropriate clothing. Shoes, you have to wear regular closed-toed shoes. Don't wear boots, don't wear sandals, don't wear Crocs, don't wear Uggs, don't wear house shoes, don't wear OOFOS, wear shoes, regular tennis shoes. A lot of people like to work out in Chuck Taylors, Converse All-Stars, or Vans or Airwalks or whatever, something that has a very low drop, simply because biomechanically you can spread your toes a little better and get a little better balance. But as long as it's safe and your toes aren't sticking out, I'm going to be happy with that. Weight belts are meant to stabilize the spine and the lower back, but I don't recommend that you use them unless you are familiar with their use and you're lifting heavy. What happens when we wear belts, same thing for wraps, like joint wraps, is that yes, they're there to provide stabilization, but it's really only if you need to provide stabilization. Otherwise, you need to let your muscles kick in and work the way that they're intended to work. So please don't wear them unless you have some medical reason to wear them. Gloves, same. If you want to wear gloves, hey, wear gloves. If you've got some styrofoam pads you want to use instead, use those. If you want to go barehanded, that's fine too. Just know that those bars can be kind of rough on your hands. And, if you like having soft hands like I do and don't want, calluses on your hands, please feel free to bring your own gloves. Wraps, we talked about this. I really don't want you wearing wraps unless it's been, recommended by a physician, just because your muscles need to remember how to stabilize your joints by themselves. Lifting straps are used to relieve the pressure off of your forearms. If you are lifting really super heavy weights and your hands and forearms are not, quite strong enough to support the same weight that your legs or low back or whatever can, the lifting straps can be of help. And I think we have some there in the muscle lab. You will use safety equipment in and perform exercises safely in our class. I highly recommend you do it all the time. Collars, clips, and springs. All of these are things that are used to keep weights on the bar, and you will use them in the class. They will prevent the weights from sliding off the ends of the bar. And I know a lot of people don't use them in the gyms, especially if they're just, lifting heavy or whatever. We will use them in our gym. Pads, we have a pad available, looks kind of like a pool noodle, and we use them on the bars to protect our parts of our body from the hard surface of the bar. We use these a lot like with back squats or something like that, just to keep that bar off of our shoulders or whatever, and that because it can hurt. So if you need it or you think you need it, let me know. Smith machine, invented by Jack LaLanne, like we went over in chapter 1. It helps with vertical lifts and it acts as a built-in spotter. We don't have one in our muscle lab, but there is one in the rec center if you want to ever try one out or use one. Breathing, we want you to exhale after a deep inhalation. So we're going to blow the weight up. So on a muscle contraction, we're going to blow out as we tense the muscle. And that is for, various reasons. What we don't want you to do is the Valsalva maneuver, where you're bearing down and creating a bunch of intrathoracic pressure, where it's going to increase your heart, your blood pressure, and make you pass out. And that's exactly what we don't want to happen. And that does happen quite often. So just make sure you're breathing appropriately. Spotting, we're about to talk a lot about spotting, but a spotter's main job is to assist the lifter if the lift fails. So we want to be prepared to work as a spotter, to provide that service to our classmates or other people in the gym. And I want you to feel comfortable asking for a spot as well. So let's talk about that. Spotting. First of all, we need to talk about spotter lifter communication. What are we doing? What lift are we doing? Because if someone thinks you're doing, one lift and you're doing another one, they're not going to spot you or possibly not be in the right place to help you if the lift fails. How many reps are we doing? Okay, so if I'm going for 15 and you walk away after 10, that's a problem, right? So we all need to be clear about how many reps we're doing. Does the lifter need a lift off? Meaning, does the lifter need help getting the bar off of the rack, especially if you're doing a heavy lift or trying to do, a max lift or something like that? It's likely that the lifter will need help getting the weight bar off of the rack, or getting the dumbbells off the ground or whatever it is. Count. Do you want me to count as a spotter, or do you want your spotter to count, or do you want to count in your own head, or however you want to do it? Just make that clear between you. How much assistance are you going to need? Is this your third of 3 sets? Is this a heavier weight that you've been doing before? Maybe you don't think you're going to need that much assistance at all, but your elbow's been acting kind of quirky and you just want somebody there in case something happens or whatever. So, just be talking to your spotter about that as a lifter. Signs, signals, and words. Maybe you have a safe word you want to use. Maybe, there's some kind of signal you want to give if you need help, or to back off. Figure those things out beforehand. Also, will the lifter need help putting the weight back onto the rack once you're done, or getting the dumbbells down, or whatever it is? Because if you're doing some presses, shoulder presses, and it's a huge amount of weight. Sometimes, you don't want to just drop those on the ground. Your spotter can help you put them back down the ground. Okay, as a spotter, when someone asks you to spot them, there's a few questions you need to ask yourself. First of all, are you strong enough to truly assist with this lift? Is it possible that you might need a second person to come in and help, right? If you are trying to bench press, 200 pounds, I'm not the gal for you, right? Not me personally. What I'll need is somebody else on the other side. I can then spot you, but I can't, I wouldn't be able to provide help with that lift by myself. The spotter should also understand the proper form, at least generally. Make sure that you know that, there are some things that should not absolutely happen. So we'll talk a lot about that too as we kind of go through this whole course. Understanding proper form is a big deal. Be focused and be ready. So be paying attention to the lift that's happening. Don't be chatting around you. Don't be looking at your phone. Be focused on the duty that you have, because if the lift fails, it fails fast, and you need to be ready. Maintain the proper spotting position. So, wherever it is that you can grab the bar, and there are some, correct ways to do this, or the weight or the dumbbell or whatever, to spot the lifter, maintain that position. Please don't touch the bar until it's necessary. This is a huge pet peeve of a lot of lifters. And for instance, I don't want you to touch the bar. I need to know that I'm putting, the force behind it. Don't touch it until it's necessary. Also check the balance of the weight and make sure that collars and springs are on properly. So if you're going to help someone lift a bar, just take a good, quick look and make sure that the weight plates are balanced on each side and that the springs are on, to prevent the weights from falling off. Also make sure that the area around you is clear. So make sure there's no other weights laying around, bags, towels, cameras, not real big on cameras in the gym, but make sure as the spotter that there's none of that, laying around on the ground. As a lifter, most of what you're doing as a lifter is focusing on the lift. But, like we've already talked about, there is a need for you to communicate. So you need to communicate to your spotter what's going on. Do not assume that they know what is going on. Do not assume they know what lift you're in position for. Do not assume they know how many reps or sets or whatever they're going to be needed for. Let them know. Also, keep going. Every lift, even when you think you're at failure, the best progress is going to be made in those last couple of lifts. So even if you think that you will not be able to lift it or finish the lift, stay at 100% effort. Okay. And allow your spotter to come in if the lift fails. That's what they're there for. Never, ever let go of the bar. Okay. Always hold on to the bar, even if the lift has failed and they're re-racking it or whatever, because don't assume that they're going to hold on to it. And if it falls, it's likely going to fall on you. So don't let go of the bar. And then always just be, grateful, thank the spotter, because the spotter is taking time out of his or her workout to help you out, and, just be appreciative. Okay, so we're going to talk, there's three slides full of etiquette. And this is all a big deal. So we're going to go point by point. Come prepared and dressed appropriately. Okay, don't linger around dressing or undressing in the middle of the gym. Go to the locker room if you need to, but be prepared once you get out onto the gym floor and sitting at equipment. Be clean. You don't have to shower before you come to the gym, but don't be stank. Okay, be clean, because you're getting all over that equipment and sharing equipment, and that's gross. Okay, just be clean. If you're sick, stay home. Don't come to the gym and get everybody else sick. Okay, work out at home if you feel like you're up to it, but do not come to the gym sick. If you're injured, don't lift. Okay, if you have something going on that's going to make it unsafe for you to lift, guess what? You're causing, safety issues for everybody around you when you lift, if your lift fails. So please don't lift when you're injured. Don't chew gum and don't chew tobacco in the gym. That's sick. Please don't wear cologne or perfume or lotions, or I'm going to extend this to even antibacterial, Bath and Body Works type hand sanitizers. That stuff is really strong, and it will take people out. There are some people that are highly sensitive to smells, and you are ruining their workout when you do that. So please, we're all there to work out. We're all sharing a space, so please be respectful. Keep your music volume safe. In our gym, the Muscle Lab, Room 102 in Lee Drain, we're not listening to earbuds or headphones. We'll play some music overhead, but if you're in the gym, keep your music volume at a safe level or keep an earbud out, so that you know what's going on around you. There are things happening all the time. Maybe people are, needing help. Maybe someone is, there's a safety issue that you need to be made aware of. Whatever it is, just you need to be aware of your surroundings. Use a towel, a sweat towel, especially at the gym. Don't be leaving your butt sweat or your head sweat on equipment. That's gross. Wipe it down. Sit on it if you're one of those people that likes to sit on them, but at least wipe your equipment down. Bring your own water. Don't rely on the gym to provide you with a water fountain. Not all of them do. Just, bring your water, but don't keep it around the equipment either. No profanity or rude commentary or jokes. Keep your mouth shut. There's no reason for you to be commenting on anybody else. Mind your own business, right? Stay in your lane. Don't be cursing or anything like that. Just be respectful of the people around you. And certainly don't joke about people. No loud yelling or grunting. Different gyms have different rules on this. In our gym in room 102, we're not going to be doing any yelling or grunting. Okay. It's just a small space, and it's alarming when people do that sometimes. Some gyms are perfectly okay with that. And if that's your thing, go there and you can do that. That's fine. Put your cell phone away. Of course, in our class, we will not have cell phones anyway, but especially in gyms, this goes to number 16 as well. When you are sitting on a piece of equipment, you're sitting on a piece of equipment that somebody else could be using. So if you are in there, on social media or, messing with your music or whatever, you are in my way. Get out of my way. Okay. And I see this all the time at the rec center. It is really irritating. Like that is just one of my biggest pet peeves. There is no reason for you to sit there on your cell phone. And if you are, go stand against a wall and do it. Don't be in somebody's way. Number 13, ask for help. If you need a spot, ask for a spot. If you need help finding a piece of equipment, ask. People can help you. There's no reason for you to feel like you can't get what you need done, accomplished. So please ask for help. Don't be afraid. Number 14, re-rack your weights. If you take weight plates off and put them onto a bar or something like onto a machine, be sure and clean up after yourself. Take those back and put them back where you found them. When you leave big weight plates, especially on equipment and things like that, there's some little old lady or some person who is much weaker or who has a back injury, you know what I mean? Someone who can't lift that weight is going to come behind you and not be able to use that machine. Also, it's just irritating. So please be respectful. 15, make sure of your surroundings. Don't hop in on someone's set. So if you see someone lingering around a machine, they might be resting, between sets. So please, just ask them, hey, are you using this? Can I hop in? Whatever. People are generally pretty nice. I mean, there's some jerks, but just do your own due diligence and ask. Number 16, don't hog equipment by resting on it. So this is the opposite side of that, right? So I've done my set of 10 or whatever. I don't get to just sit there on that machine if I know people are waiting to use the machine. Make an arrangement and let someone else hop in on your 2 or 3 minute rest or whatever. Don't just sit there on the machine and rest on it or converse with other people or whatever. It's really irritating. 17, ask if you can work in between sets. This is the whole thing. If you see someone lingering and they're between sets, just say, hey, can I hop in or whatever. And if you do work in, make sure to re-rack to that previous person's weights and, return it to where you found it. Don't slam or drop weights in our gym, especially in our rec center. Absolutely not. If you are in a gym where that is okay and acceptable, go for it. But generally, we don't want to damage the equipment or the floor or freak people out by dropping or slamming weights. Number 20, if you need a spot, ask for one politely and then be quick about doing your set. Okay, work yourself up, hype yourself up, and then ask someone for a quick spot. Make sure to thank your spotters. Be a spotter if you're asked and you're able. Also, these last three, please keep your hands away from your face. When you're at the gym, you're touching all sorts of things that other people, hundreds of people, thousands of people have touched, and gyms are gross. Okay, don't make yourself sick. Make sure to use anti-back wipes if they're provided. They are definitely provided in our gym. And after every time you touch a piece of equipment and you put it down, please grab a wipe and wipe that piece of equipment down. Gyms are gross, remember. And last but not least, when you are done, wash your hands, take a shower, whatever, what else. But please just wash your hands because you have been touching a lot of stuff and gyms are gross. So please, please, please take care of your own health and hygiene as well. So that brings us to the end of this chapter 2 quiz. What I'm going to do is now I'm going to get out of this and we're going to go over to KHP. So let me see, quiz. Let's link over to quiz 2. Of course, it's not going to bring me straight there. It's going to bring me through some other rigmarole, but we'll get there eventually. So quiz 2 is going to be all about this whole etiquette and safety, strength training and safety. So we'll go here. You can read through all of this stuff, what to wear. This is all stuff that I've included in the PowerPoint. It goes over and shows you some different pictures of, here's a spring right here to keep your weight on. Spotting, different guidelines, a lot of etiquette stuff in here, all the stuff we went over. So we're going to begin our quiz attempt. All right. True or false? It is safe to begin a resistance exercise program without medical clearance, regardless of your age. This is false. I want to save that answer. Number 2, a collar is used for making sure the weights do not slide off the barbell, making sure the weights do not slide off a weight rack, making sure people are watching you lift during your workout, or none of the above. It's actually making the first one, making sure the weights do not slide off of the barbell, of the bar. We're going to save. Number 3, weight belts should be worn at all times in the gym as they will dramatically increase the amount of weight an individual can lift. That is false. Don't wear them unless you need them. All right, number 4, spotting in weight training generally involves using at least one additional person to assist, can only be done with 3 or more people, should not be utilized in weight training, or none of the above. A, generally involves using at least one additional person to assist with the lift. Number 5, when breathing during a resistance exercise, you should, don't breathe, hold your breath throughout the lift, inhale and then exhale as fast as you can, try to blow the weight up or exhale during the exercise, or all of the above can safely be used. We're going to try to blow the weight up. Okay, so we saved, we're going to submit. And we got 100. So all green, all good. That's your quiz 1 and quiz 2 and chapter 2. So I guess the next time I'll see you is in class or for chapter 3. So we'll see you then.